Hi, Aries, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. Welcome. Okay, let's talk about you guys for January. It's nice. All right, it's a nice energy. Everything's kind of winding down for a lot of people. It's not that active of a calendar new year. This year, it's a dark time of the year. It's reductive for a lot of people. It's toning down, taking off the weight a little bit, putting the brakes on and tying things up, okay? Putting bows on things. And for you, it's like letting you do less, okay? So Aries is one of the signs that likes to try really hard, likes to push, likes to pioneer. And you can definitely do that, but I suggest you guys take a load off here, relax, enjoy some silence, and let other people come to your aid. Okay, I feel like this is a month of aid for you. You could be receiving gifts. You could be receiving financial aid. You could be getting some type of preferential loans, or there's something of like having a lot of wellness coming in this month that you don't have to like do so much yourself. So getting assistance from other people has been something coming up for all the signs this month, and being able to have an easier time because we're not so exhausted. So we'll talk about a few different sectors of Aries life in this reading, but I want to continue intuitively for you all. So you guys need to not stress or push things as hard here. One of the difficulties that Aries often faces is like wanting everything now or wanting the main story yesterday. Try to let time do the work for you now. This was also something that kept coming up a lot over the last few months, where I realized, especially during the Venus South Node conjunction in Libra during November, which was on your axis, of course, that we need to rely on time. Okay, there are times in our lives, and Aries knows all about this, when we have to like rely on ourselves, and when we have to push, when we have to survive, when we have to put one foot in front of the other. And I know that you guys really like that's a lot of what your sign is about. Your sign gets a lot of its zest through like survivalist types of stories, through like times where it was like only you or only the self that could solve a certain problem. And that's sort of a quintessential part of the human experience. But now, in this 2024 year cycle that we're moving in, transitioning from rabbit to dragon year, it's very much about working together with other people, one hand washing the other, having leverage, having help, okay? And I'm already seeing this queue up in real ways in Capricorn season. So it's not just like thinking about it. It's not just like, I think if I put a team together here instead of doing everything myself, that this could be beneficial for everybody, and that there would actually be like a exponential type of growth rather than just a singular or unitary kind of growth. It's been like that for all of 2023 in the mind, but now here in January, you're going to actually have people coming to you being like, can I help? Hi Taurus, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you guys about the calendar new year, January. I hope you're all doing really well and excited to move into this somewhat different time than December, but it is very much a continuance of the November-December momentum that we had. Not a lot of grand changes happening here. It's still the dark time of the year. It's still the winter season. Try to not go too crazy, freaking yourself out about New Year's resolutions and such. But there is a lot coalescing nonetheless, and a lot of guarantee of major shift. Of course, we have Pluto changing sign on January 20th into Aquarius. And that is going to bring in a bit of a new energy. So yes, let's talk about this for you all in January. And just some general intuitive messages. I feel like you guys have a bit of a journey in front of you. I feel that you have to kind of pray through this as well. As the people around you, the people in your lives are really going to change up here. We have Mars moving through Capricorn as well, which is going to really help you to get some material things in your life straightened out. Okay, if you've had things kind of like lingering or a lot of material stagnation, that's going to get worked out in January. And I think probably by the 20th, okay, January 20th, it seems like a lot of stagnation has left the equation. So something's happening for you all. I think the Mars trine to your sun, if you're a sun in Taurus, or to whatever you have in Taurus, that exaltation is going to maybe light a bit of a fire under you, and it's going to also guide you to get some material projects done. It's such a wonderful month for you guys to, of course, not go too crazy, but to focus on anything that's stagnated in your life and finding resolutions for that. You will have a lot more force and a lot more capacity when it comes to resolving long-term material stagnation this month. At the same time, you don't need to push yourself too hard. We're all kind of learning in this month, in this time, how to balance our energy output better. The South Node in Libra is really full force now. It's really totally pure form, balanced Libra energy. And we're all kind of reaching in and not feeling, as we felt for the last few years, like we need to change everything right this second with our own two hands. Hi, Geminis, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I am coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I hope that you're all doing really well. We have a lot to talk about this month for your reading, Gemini. We have Pluto moving into your fellow air sign of Aquarius on the 20th of January. We also have the Sun and Mars applying up to that sign as well, which I think is going to be such a gift and victory for the air signs in general. It's kind of like something that you have been anticipating for a long time, finally bearing fruit and finally coming to fruition, which is an interesting alchemy given that we have the darker time of the year, the winter season coming through. It seems like you guys have had some type of victory. You all have had some type of culmination of sorts. And now you are facing a new chapter with a lot of things behind you, as that's the psychic image that I get for Gemini, is like many things in the rearview mirror, many things having finalized and not having to worry too much about certain things that were obstacles for you before. And I feel that you all are basically walking between worlds in this month. It's like a long-running momentum that you've had over the last 15 or 20 years of your life could be shifting here as Pluto is preparing to go into Aquarius. And I feel that you have a major focus placed on long-running structures versus new stories, new chapters, and the way that you are choosing to pick sides or to pick certain momentums as yours. So the month of January, Gemini is going to have you answering these questions through your actions. Careful about any type of words or communications that contradict actions. So giving promises in one place, but kind of acting in a way that contradicts it. I feel that we all are having to really examine our own contradictions in the month of January. Contradicting belief systems, contradicting actions, okay? Really valuing, for example, the construct of marriage, but struggling not to have affairs, for example, things like that. Adhering to certain religious beliefs, but also like being with people who are perhaps very against, the construct of organized religion. So like, it feels like everybody is kind of in these in-between places. And we're going to have to really slow down in January and take things bit by bit. Hi Cancers, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and excited for a very shifting, life-changing month ahead for you guys. As I'm feeling your energy, Cancer, I feel that we have got to really place aside a lot of fears. We have got to really place a lot aside here. You guys are getting out ahead of something in January. Although it is the dark time of the year, it is still the winter season. I feel that it is such a shifting point here for you as we have Pluto moving off your axis on January 20th. We have Mars, the Sun, Mercury, and the new moon all entering your axis in the sign of Capricorn in January. So there is a lot of activity for you guys. As someone with a lot of fourth house energy in my own chart, I'm already feeling it, and I'm feeling like we have life-changing is not the right word, but again, the motion that I'm feeling is like things that have been wearing us down for a long time, things that have been really taking a lot of our focus are going to get resolutions in January, and we're really going to be challenged about moving on in grace and dignity from here. So keywords for this month are very much along those lines. Grace, moving through motions with grace, not being rough with people, not being pointy, okay, but nonetheless taking real substantial actions that show your power over a situation, but for the sake of bringing about graceful resolutions. So I see you guys also being able to get work done here this month. Something needs to be done. Something needs to, in fact, something that felt overwhelming before, something that felt like you couldn't face it. It's important during this time in January to prove to yourself that, okay, I can solve this puzzle. I can benefit everybody involved. I actually do have the capacity to make this work for everyone, and therefore dissolve a lot of the conflict or dissolve a lot of the opposition that I've been facing in my life. Now, to give you guys some dates, as I do feel like quite a specific timeline here, immediately, this is one of the best New Year energies that I've felt in many, many years, because of course the calendar New Year is much more of a financial, industrial, taxation-based year cycle, and of course the spring equinox is like the real New Year, because that's when life starts coming back to the earth, right? And the growth cycle starts back at the earth plane. Hi Leos, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying the calendar new year. We have an eventful month for you guys, getting ready for Pluto to get onto your axis by the end of the month, and a lot of different ways of seeing yourself and sort of identifying yourself coming up in the month of January. So let's talk about it, Leos. I'm getting like a really fast stream of consciousness coming in about your energy, which is kind of encouraging you to push things less and to trust in the coalescing of the right energy without you having to be so forceful. So I've been talking for all of the fixed signs this month about the way that they use their force as a person, their energetic force, their weight, their influence, their abilities. And I'm feeling for all the fixed signs, actually, with Uranus getting into this third decan of Taurus, going direct, Jupiter going direct in Taurus. In January, Uranus moving direct, but Jupiter's gone direct at the end of December. Pluto moving into Aquarius. Okay, lots of fixed energy coming up here. And I'm seeing a lot of the fixed signs kind of being like exhausted or overwhelmed, or feeling like they've done overkill, feeling like they've made things more difficult than they had to be during this time, if they're like that. And it's going to be important to start letting the momentum be what it is here and starting to like seek new horizons. For a lot of the signs this month, I've seen that the sort of goal is getting into a place where some of the old problems that they've been facing are not so prevalent, and they can start to consider expansion or consider making things bigger in their lives, not necessarily wanting to get the fine-tooth comb out about all that old, heavy stuff that we've been dealing with for such a long time. And it's likely in the month of January to have a little bit of both. Okay, so especially in this first part of the month, we have a Mars moving into Capricorn. We have Mercury going direct towards Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn. That's going to want us to really focus in and get stuff done, get stuff out of the way, finish long-running projects, and really step into that state of completion so that we can plot the next course forward. So, of course, we are dealing with the quincunx and the opposition for Leo here, with all this Capricorn energy moving towards Aquarius. So there's a little bit of an adjustment happening for you guys, almost like resetting things, regrouping things in the month of January. And I think it just gets better as the month progresses, and you get to kind of like also, through perhaps a bit of hard work, see some finalization or see certain projects come to a close. Hi Virgos, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well and enjoying the calendar new year of 2024. What an exciting energy that we're building up to. I think that you guys are one of the most well-placed signs for this month. We have a lot of Earth energy coming together. The Sun in Capricorn. Mercury will move into Capricorn this month. We have Jupiter in Taurus. Of course, Uranus in Taurus. Pluto in Capricorn. Of course, Mars as well, moving into Capricorn. So this is going to be major alchemy for the sign of Virgo in January, and preparing for a big shift. Of course, Saturn being opposite you as well in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about for you guys this month. It's one of the most masterful alchemical energies that I'm feeling this month as I'm stepping into the Virgo energy for this reading. So you guys feel to me to have been in a bit of a battleground, or there's been something like really trying to finally attain victory somewhere. It's like maybe a long running battle that you've been facing in your life, or something has been really hard to get to this point, and now you are kind of coming through with some version of victory, I think, throughout this month, or with a passing point, like you don't have to anymore face or exist in a certain state of conflict. So it's a very conflict resolving month that we have coming together for you in January. I'm sensing that a lot of you are going to scale things down a little bit. There are certain things that you've been having to work on, or that have been taking up a lot of your conscious energy. And through a bit of hard work and a bit of grit in January, I think that is going to be resolved here. And by the end of the month and moving through February and March, I think that you're looking at really being able to get ahead in the bigger, more grand aspects of your life instead of the more micro, small detail stuff. So basically, you find your essence here, Virgos. Okay, so kind of pay attention in January, like where your mind is at, where your vision is at, what you're trying to advance, who you're trying to be, what you're trying to show the world. The sort of like chessboard of life also that you might be making moves on. All of this is going to really determine a lot about how you're connecting with the group, or how you're connecting with other people. So basically your persona or your expression as a person is taken very seriously here. Perhaps it's remembered. Almost every single planet in the solar system is aspecting you in some way or another. Hi Libras, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the lovely movement into your fellow cardinal sign of Capricorn. I am very excited to be reading for you this month, as we have a very big shift in the character development of the sign of Libra here. We have the South Node in your sign. We are starting a calendar year with the South Node in your sign, of course, North Node on your axis in Aries. We have, of course, Mars moving into Capricorn, in Capricorn here this month on the 4th. We have a new moon in Capricorn. We have a Sun in Capricorn, and Mercury going into Capricorn on the 13th. Big Capricorn influence, giving you a bit of a square, but I think that it's positive. Of course, squaring the South Node in the sky as well. So we are getting a lot of scrutiny, a lot of clarity on how balanced we've been in a material and a spiritual level this month. So let's talk about the archetypes coming up for you this month, Libra. I feel that you're having to stand your ground with something this month. You're very much more aware of certain worth than the people around you. I feel that relationships really come to a head here. So if you've been having any type of like relationship issues, like in marriages, friendships, especially like really personal relationships like that, people are like kind of trying to define you or frame you in a certain way, and maybe it's not accurate anymore. I feel that Libra is having and facing a challenge in this time regarding like who they are and how they present. Of course, Capricorn is the natural 10th house. It is the reputation, identity, status, and how we express, how we're seen by the world. And I feel like that's changing up for you guys this month. The South Node reiterates that as well, because whenever the South Node goes through your sign, it asks very deep questions. Who are you? What is your heritage? What religious, spiritual, social, even national backgrounds do you come from, and how does that affect who you are now in the changing times? Is there harmony with what you're creating to what you come from? So the interesting thing about Libra here, and most of the zodiac signs, is we're in a time, right, age of Aquarius, Pluto moving into Aquarius, where a lot of us are living lives that kind of contradict some of that traditional root level connotation. And I'm actually seeing some Libras here in January starting to stand the ground of their ancestors and kind of moving back into a more traditional space. Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you all about the month ahead. Welcome to the calendar new year of 2024, Scorpios. We have a very life-shifting year for you coming up. We have your ruling planet of Pluto changing signs this month, and we have a lot of turning points coming up in your own life. There's a very survivalist, kind of gritty energy coming up here, but also a very rewarding and finalizing kind of energy as well. So as I've been meditating on your energy for this month ahead, I really have felt that we're looking at one of the most defining and potentially empowering transition points for your sign that we've seen in a long time. I'm really excited and enthusiastic about you guys getting some of the stuff off your plate that has been stressing you out so much. It does feel like there's a clearing energy coming in. Also quite a hard-working energy. Of course, we have Mars moving into Capricorn January 4th. We'll have Mercury in Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn. And this is going to bring a lot of energy by sextile angle, of course, with Pluto in Capricorn as well, to give you some like natural burst of energy, natural hard work. There's kind of like an ambitious feeling to the energy for Scorpio. There is a culmination with no doubt coming through here. Like you could see like a decade-long answer coming through. You can also see very long-running things starting to conclude. The end is in sight. There is a way that your humility or your previous concerns now are known by everybody, but that can also go for other traits as well that are not so seemingly positive. So people get to know us here, and it's an important time to kind of show your capacity and to show what you're really about in the month of January. And it's just kind of it's an erratic month to talk about because we have this split point happening in January 20th, where Pluto and the Sun both move into the sign of Aquarius. What are the odds that that would happen on the same day? And it's just so different than what we're entering the month with all the Capricorn energy. And I think for all Scorpios, it indicates a bit of a shakeup and a bit of unpredictability. Of course, we have Uranus on your axis as it is, and we have your ruling planet moving into Uranus sign as well. So the fixed nature of Scorpio is perhaps a bit undone by all of this shifting, sort of erratic, unpredictable energy of Uranus. Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I'm coming on to talk to you. Last but not least, we have a really interesting time for you guys coming up. We had a very interesting December for Sagittarians with that triple conjunction, Mars, Sun, and Mercury in your sign. Of course, the Mercury retrograde that has been happening in your sign and is in effect as we move into January. And we have Venus also being in your sign in this month, which is always a wonderful, lovely placement. Venus loves the sign of Sagittarius because Venus and Jupiter are wonderfully aspected together, the great benefics. And of course, Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, so Venus and Sag is really nice. So you guys are going to be getting some Venusian energy in this month. It will be a wonderful month for working on the essence of your life, working on your health, working on the beauty that is in your life. bringing more beauty into your life, bringing more ease. Okay, I always think that Venus in Sagittarius also is challenged with efficiency. It, of course, would enjoy efficiency because efficiency is quite beautiful, but sometimes there can be a lot of waste with Venus in Sagittarius. Sometimes things can be over bulked. Sometimes things can be too loud as well. So I feel that you guys are going to be transferring a little bit of that energy into a more efficient outlook. I'm definitely feeling it's a very 7 of Pentacles month for you, 9 of Pentacles month for you with Venus in your sign and all of this Capricorn energy that we have this month. Sun, Mars, Pluto, Mercury in Capricorn in the month of January, preparing for Pluto to change signs on January 20th. So you guys are going to be having a lot of semi-sextile this month. And I feel that you're going to also elevate past the perhaps wounding of prosperity that you had in 2020 with Jupiter and Capricorn. But you have to be observant about certain trigger points that could bring that back up this month. So really accept your abundance, Sagittarius. Okay, in the month of January, just make it simple for yourself. Try to decomplicate things. Try to embrace the fact that certain things are you're only one element amongst thousands of other elements. Okay, it's unlikely for it to go that wrong. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help here. Don't be afraid to work with integration. Don't be afraid to have more people coming to your assistance during this time. It's going to be important for you to be okay with the fact that certain things take the help of other people. Nobody's expecting you to do all of this alone. Nobody begrudges you for the way that things are. If you have anything in your life that has material deterioration, or things have kind of become overbearing or too burdensome, you can let it be easier. Hi Capricorns, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. This is Sky, of course, coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. Happy Capricorn season. Happy birthday to those of you aging up. I am so looking forward to reading for your sign this month as we have the final Capricorn season with Pluto in your sign. What a hallmark, what a crossing point, what a major transition you all are going through here. And there's a lot that we need to go over. And gosh, I could probably talk for a really long time actually about all of the different potentials coming up for you guys here. But I'll preface the reading this month with saying that collectively, okay, for all signs, it feels like we're really toning down. It feels like we are really going a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more subtle, a little bit darker, okay? It feels like we have a bit of an energy deficit for a lot of people, and January and February are going to be turning that tide further. December already started, but it's really going to get visible in January and February. And there are some things, Capricorn, that you don't have to sweat anymore, okay? Make things more easy. Let people work for you. Let people work with you. You don't have to suffer, okay, in silence. That's something that I feel that Pluto's going to give you with the final time in your sign is a vision of your power and how you don't have to degrade or settle. Many of you are quite aware of the implications of the anaretic Pluto. I talked about it off and on all over the last 2 years. So I definitely encourage you to go back and listen to previous readings to get more on that. But of course, it's here for this month of January until January 20th, when Pluto goes back into Aquarius. And it will go back one more time this year. This is just the final time that it is here with the Sun in Capricorn during Capricorn season at the same time. Now, I've had a lot of Capricorns coming to me saying, I'm exhausted, I feel devoid of energy, fatigued, a lot of Capricorn. So I think that it's the events of Pluto and Capricorn have happened. Here we are, and it's time to get some finalization. We've just come from the winter solstice in December, which was a really significant one. I felt like people just had to spend time in silence and had to reflect, and that's going to continue into January. So those of you who are knowledgeable on astrology, you know that January is not a natural new year. It is a calendar new year, and it's how our sort of economic and industrial taxation system works. It's more of a fiscal turnover than it is a natural or cellular turnover. So if you guys are here in January trying to like spark up energy, trying to dive into the new year, trying to go wild, that's not going to work here. I'm going to have to really echo that, because it feels like one of the most delicate and fragile energetic times I've seen. Okay, January and February. Aquarius, hi, welcome to your January 2024 forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I just have a bottle of water here. You may hear me drinking at some points in time, as I'm having to talk a lot to finish all of these January readings. And hydration is important, as you know, as the water bearer. Okay, moving on. Aquarius 2024, January. Can you believe it's the calendar new year? Pluto's moving into your sign this month on January 20th. Mars is applying. Mars is going through Capricorn. It's going to move into your sign later. So you've got a Pluto-Mars Sun activation coming in this month. And I just read for Capricorn, and it's such a different energy. It's like, I love this as a reader when you get to move from one energy to another. And it's kind of like magical as it like really shifts everything up for you. As I was reading for Capricorn, I was like really quiet. And I was really like just feeling like, okay, we're on the brink of like sleepiness. We're finishing something. There's been such a long running momentum, and it's like, oh God, it never ends. And kind of that feeling, you know, which is kind of Capricorn in and of itself. But no, for you guys, it's very fresh. Okay. Look at what you have. Look at the air you're breathing. Look at the refreshing, perhaps like self-employment or just more authority in your career, more capacity, more capability. And also, behold, the new story coming in for you guys starting on January 20th. Oh my gosh. What is that new story looking like? How are you building? How are you growing? How are things changing? Are you receiving a baton? Okay, that's the psychic image that I'm getting for you guys for this month, and actually for this whole year of 2024, is someone's passing a baton to you. Pluto is who it is. All right. So yes, ruler of the underworld, you know, all of that is passing a baton to you. So don't let that freak you out. Don't let that, I know that's a little bit dark sounding, but Pluto in Aquarius is not even that dark. It's a lighter energy for Pluto. Capricorn has been one of the heaviest, darkest, most severe energies for Capricorn, because of course, again, it's a dark feminine sign. Aquarius is a light masculine sign. So it's going to alchemize Pluto a little bit more excitingly, and we're going to see some of the lighter sides of Pluto, if that even exists, but I'm sure that it does. But we're going to start seeing that this month. What do I feel for you guys? Okay, new story, new era, new frontier. But nonetheless, like all of the other signs, maybe a little bit less than all the other signs, but it's toned down right now. January, February, and most of March of 2024 is very vulnerable. Okay, it's very fragile. It can also be very refreshing, almost like, you know, like if you guys have ever worked a job that you've hated, for example, like say like a really hard minimum wage job, and you do it for a long time, and then you know, like, I'm about to upgrade my life. Like I have a new job, or I have like a different story about to come on. I've got accepted into that new degree program. I don't have to do this anymore, but you're still in it. You know that feeling? Like, I still have to put in my 2 weeks notice, and I've still got a while left to do this, but I see a light at the end of the tunnel. That's also an image that I'm getting for you guys. Hi Pisces, and welcome to your January 2024 forecast. I hope you're all doing well. I'm coming on to talk to you about the month ahead. We have a life-changing month of January with Pluto changing sign, not quite for the last time, but for the second to last time. We have a lot of just transformative notions coming into our life, new stories, final resolutions, final moments with things being a certain way. And it's kind of an emotional battlefield for some Pisces. So you guys have one of the more nuanced energies that I'm feeling for this month. Lots of good things coming in, as there is for everybody, with Pluto finally changing sign. But for you guys, I feel that if you spend too much time trying to like emotionally dissect the situation, it's going to be hard. Okay. So there's something of like letting go and letting God that's very helpful for you this month. It's a darker time of the year. January and February are both, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere, going to be a very dark, toned down, and more relaxed energy. So we don't need to be trying to overdo it. We don't need to be trying to push too hard. One of the most relieving messages that I've gotten for a lot of the signs this month in January has been about not feeling like you have to do everything yourself, allowing people to help you out, allowing one hand to wash the other, allowing this to be easier. Okay, it was way too hard for the last few years. This is one of the first really powerful energies of leverage that we're getting here in January 2024. It's already precipitating the dragon year archetype, the transition from rabbit to dragon. This is a time where you realize, okay, I now have this amount of leverage. I don't have to push this boulder up the hill myself. I don't have to carry the weight of the world on my back. I'm not alone in this. Okay, so being alone in certain situations gets a little bit harder starting in January. And we really feel it. We really feel like, wow, I have to be the one to carry all the groceries up those stairs alone. I have to pay all this rent alone. And some people are going to start getting into relationships or taking on roommates, so on and so forth, to make things a little bit more easy. Because I'm seeing that this year starts a momentum where it's kind of like getting oppressive feeling to face everything by ourselves. You know, since 2017, we had this growth of like doing things all by ourselves. Like, I don't have to bend the knee to this person. I don't have to, moderate myself. Like when you have roommates, sometimes you have to like, come to a mutual agreement about who washes the dishes when and how late one person is making noise in the house, and all that stuff is maybe not nearly as difficult at this point in this inflationary economy as living by yourself and paying all that rent alone. Okay, you can apply this to whatever you want to apply it to, Pisces, but some of you are going to keep doing it alone. That's fine. Having Saturn in your sign is always a pressure or a force that kind of like isolates a little bit so that we really get to know ourselves. However, I feel like you guys have kind of already done that, so you don't have to make your situation harder than it has to be.